Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Fastest Car Series. Today we have got the pistonless powerhouse from Japan, and it's right, we got the 2002 Mazda RX-7 Spirit R, better known as just simply the FD RX-7. Now this car has 276 horsepower, 231 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs in at 2,800 pounds. Now with all that being said, if you like this car and you want to see one that you want in the next video, write it down in the comments, and while you're down there, might as well click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss another video. Alright, now let's see what this car can do on the course. Now if you're here, you probably already know a thing or two about the RX-7, the rotary-powered sports car from Mazda. And if you don't know what a rotary is, it's basically triangles in a weird, slightly pinched oval. And if you want something more in-depth, go watch Rob Dahm or somebody. They could do a much better job at explaining than I can. So what makes the Spirit R different from the normal RX-7? Well, the Spirit R gets Bilstein tuned suspension, same as my car. And it had an oil cooler, so if you wanted to take it to the track, you wouldn't overheat. And it also had a front air duct for better airflow, and probably one of the best looking stock wings I've ever seen on a vehicle. So the FD RX-7, this one, was the first mass-produced car to come with factory sequential turbos. See, the RX-7 didn't have much torque at low RPMs, so they gave it two turbos to help with that. The first turbo was on the smaller side and would help produce boost from around 2,000 to 4,500 RPMs. And by then, the bigger turbo would have had enough time to spool up and produce boost for the rest of the power band. Alright, from stock to top of A-Spec, this car is pushing 311 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque, which isn't much of a bump in performance, but now it only weighs 2,200 pounds. So power to weight ratio has greatly increased. Now, one thing about the rotaries that people commonly forget is that they were small. From factory, this is a 1.3 liter engine pushing almost 300 horsepower. And because it came in such a small package, Mazda was able to place the engine further back in the engine bay, essentially making a front mid-engine car, which is one of the huge benefits behind the RX-7 because of its amazing weight distribution. It's 50-50, and that's how you're able to just chuck it into a corner and come out just fine on the other side. Though the rotary is what made the RX-7 as amazing as it was also its downfall. It was a very maintenance-heavy engine. You know, whenever you hear somebody say change your oil and filters at around 3,000 miles, you have to do that with a rotary or you shorten the lifespan of the engine. That, along with apex seals going out, frequent rebuilds happening before it gets to 100,000 miles, and just generally poor emissions, were some of the biggest downfalls of the rotary as we know it. Alright, so the times are in. In the stock category, the RX-7 takes first place for both, with an uphill time of 2 minutes and 45.58 seconds and a downhill time of 2 minutes and 38.15 seconds. And I think that just goes to show how well balanced this car really is in its stock form. Now for A800, the RX-7 takes first place in the uphill category and second place in the downhill category. Uphill it gets a time of 2 minutes and 26.1 second, and it gets a downhill time of 2 minutes 21.53 seconds. So it both beats and loses to the Benz 190 by 0.4 of a second. Now honestly, if given enough runs, I probably could have beaten the Benz 190 on the downhill, but to keep it fair between all the cars, I give myself 2 practice runs and then 2 timed runs with both stock and upgraded. So as close as this was, the RX-7 couldn't take every spot on the leaderboard this time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.